Hello! Welcome to another Sin Cafe Quickie. That's right, we're back. So today, we're doing some wonderful gravy. This has carrots, onions, sofrito, celery, and even, obviously the peppers to make a sofrito. And we threw in some turkey giblets, and we reduced that down. Parsley. We even sauteed some cabbage and pulled that out. So this is basically a vegetable turkey gravy based on a sofrito with, we like to use these days the Tony's Cajun without salt. We're not sponsored by any of these people, but that be our gravy, and it be simmering for a bit. We have these wonderful mashed potatoes that just are mashed potatoes with a little bit of salt, some black pepper, and they've been fully riced and creamed, and of course butter and a little bit of cream, because that's how you do mashed potatoes. And you just let them sit happily. Don't overdress them because it gets too much. So that is our wonderful pan that we're going to sear our Salisbury steaks in. We've got some beautiful onions and some parsley that we're going to use to both top and saute it with, both green and white. So without that further ado, here we go. Soon. Now. Boom. Now, to begin the Salisbury steak cooking in the oven, we take an entirely different pan. We pour some of this beautiful gravy we have. And by the way, the other ingredient to the gravy that we like to use is some Shaoxing wine. You can use any type of wine you want, yet I find Shaoxing has both a sweetness and a dryness, much like a sherry, because that's essentially what it is a Chinese Asian sherry wine, and it makes for such a wonderful gravy. So, and that is the key. You have to use a good wine to make a good Salisbury. And so we take these little bad boys out of the happy pan, which they have gotten their wonderful caramelization-y on. See, look at how beautiful that be. We gently let each one of them have it. And so we put that, and we take that, and we put it in the oven with the corn, and we give it about 10 minutes for these guys. So obviously 20 minutes for corn, 22 minutes for corn. That caramelization took about 5-6 minutes. So you let them rest for a minute, and then you put them in the oven right at about 7 minutes left on your timer. That way everything comes out at the same time, as well as nothing overcooks. So here we have our wonderful Washington Wagyu beef, which has been induced with some red pepper, some of the Tommy's Cajun spice, a little bit of salt and some pepper, fresh parsley, and a little bit of that gravy mixed in, and of course a little bit of egg and a touch of some panko just to keep it as a binder. You don't want too much of the panko, and you always want to have more yolk than white to your egg because of the flavor and the binding aspects. And it's all about proteins and science. But enough of that. Now we take ourselves a nice chunk, and we have our happy smoking pan here, and we roll ourselves a nice happy ball, and we make it about 1/3 of a pound each one of these little guys, and this will ideally serve about 3 people per pound, obviously. So you do that like that. Don't try to overwork your meat. Put a little divot in the center, and you move on to your next bit. And you see, that's what you want in a binder. That's how you realize when it goes in the oven, it's not just gonna fall apart. Now, the oven you have set at 405. And after these sear, you're gonna want to only do these for about 15 minutes max. Otherwise, they start to get a bit much. And my natural instinct made that one more of a 1/4 pound than a 1/3. Well, I'll make me another one that's about 1/4 and 1/4 pound, and you press that out. And this one is less. We can add to that one, and then we add the rest to that. But be very careful, once again, do not overdo your meat. But if you have to reaccount, you do it quickly, you can. So for those that be wondering, well, that's what me sink always looks like. We clean as we go, it always be clean. Keep your environment clean and always wash your hands. Cross-contamination is no good, and a clean environment makes for clean, happy food. So we return to these wonderfully sizzly things. We give them about 2 or 3 minutes on each side to get all caramely. And when you smell it, that's when you realize it's about time to turn it. And the edges, there we go. And on electric, we're doing this on medium-ish high heat. On a gas, adjust accordingly. And on your own stove, adjust accordingly, because all of these things are different. Whether it be a Frigidaire, a thing, or another different brand. They're all different. It takes a minute to learn your cooking equipment. And that is the thing. Always pay attention to that. So we flippy these. See, we've got that beautiful, nice caramely char on each side. They're all holding together nicely. There we be. We let these caramelize and simmer up. And then they go into the oven soon, after a minute or 2 on this side as well. About 2 or 3 to be precise. And, perhaps, turn them sometimes, because you want even caramelization. And that is the thing. You throw in some onion on top of this so that the onion cooks down and gives it all the oniony flavor. So now it's be ready. You put some sliced onion on top of them with a little parsley. You take a little more of the gravy, you pour it on top. And then you put this in the oven. Like I said, when you got about 7 minutes to go on your corn. Obviously, we don't want to overcook these. At most, we give these 10 minutes. It depends how long you had them in the pan and how thick they are. But you want about, like I said, 6 to 7 minutes in the pan and about 7 to 10 minutes in the oven at 400. They be flawless. So here we go. So the last secret ingredient is you take the pan drippings and you pour it on the top with all that goodness and all of the beef grease that re-infatuates all of it with wonderfulness. And then you put it in the oven. So now we be here. So it be ready. It be ready for the plating. Our beautiful happy mashed potatoes go with. We pair with our sherry gravy, as well as our oh so very wonderful happy corn that has been roasted in the oven accordingly. Ah, look at that. That be the thing. This be the meal. Blessings all, always, always, and always, always, forever, always, always. Hi. So, you put the corn in right before you put the Salisbury's in the pan. So what you do is you take it, you leave it in the husk. You take all the little furry parts off. You peel it a little. And then you throw some chalua and a little bit of salt and some black and white pepper. And then you throw it in the oven at 405. And you let that begin before you throw your steaks in the oven. And that be our corn. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification button for more amazing content. Aye, here we be. Blessings all, blessings always. Bon appetit. Time to eat. Yar.